Today I'm going to show you how to 1. Relieve the stress of what to do with your money, and 2. Know exactly how to handle every single dollar. Come on. I've been using YNAB for a long time, and that's because of the method. Give every dollar a job. Imagine you take every single dollar you have to your name and you toss it in a big old bucket. I know this is a pot, but the next best option was a trash can, so I'm talking all the dollars in your checking, your savings, your wallet. Now, with this big old bucket of money, you might be able to buy a fancy new sports car, but somewhere in there, you still gotta pay the mortgage and get the kids signed up for soccer, and it'd be nice to maybe take the family on a real trip for once, and shouldn't I tuck some of this away for emergencies? That's a good idea, right? We support that idea, yeah? How am I supposed to know what should go where? Or even what I can afford? Yeah, the one bucket approach ain't really cutting it for us. So rather than letting all this money sit ambiguously in this bucket, spending whenever we want and just kind of hoping we never scrape the bottom, we're gonna give each dollar a job. $2,000 to pay the mortgage next week, $300 for gas, some for food and the kids and the cats, right? I keep going until every dollar has a job to do. And while this sounds easy enough, it can actually be really hard to know where to start. Like, if I like to eat out, am I allowed to include that? And I know I probably should have a good chunk set aside for car repairs or home repairs and all that, but how am I supposed to do that when I feel like I spend most of my paycheck on just the mortgage and food alone? So I thought it'd be kind of fun if you tagged along with me as I walk through the 5 questions we YNABers ask ourselves when it's time to give every dollar a job. Now, P.S. in this video, I'm gonna be walking through the 5 questions as I'm setting up a brand new spending plan. But if you just wanna know how to walk through the 5 questions with each new paycheck and an already pretty established spending plan, make sure to tune into the next video where, would you know it, I'm covering just that. So here's a look at my plan. This is a totally fresh plan with no money divvied out yet. I just added all my actual categories and bills and due dates. So let me load up my checking account dollars. Now these are generally the ones we think of as being our spending dollars, right? I currently have $4,000 in this checking account, so I'm gonna dive right in with question number 1. What does this money need to do for me before I get paid again? As much as I'd love to just hop right into loading up my makeup category and my fun money category and dumping thousands in our travel category, the reality is bills need to get paid, right? I've gotta prioritize these first before anything else. I love having the lights on. It's like my thing. Today, the day I'm filming this, is the 20th. I'm gonna get paid again on the 5th of the next month. So right now, based on this first question, my main priority is funding all categories that absolutely need to get funded before that next paycheck arrives on the 5th. I always start with bills because, obviously, they're kind of a big deal. I'm just gonna fund the bills due between today, the 20th, and that next paycheck on the 5th. According to my due dates, that's looking like these later 4 categories. When I do fund them, I can see that $327 moving out of ready to assign and dispersing themselves down into these 4 categories. But hold on, my mortgage is charged on the 1st. I get paid again on the 5th, remember? So I can't afford to wait until the next paycheck to fund this bad boy. I'm gonna click ahead into February and fully fund this mortgage payment now so that it's all ready to go on the 1st of the next month. Next, I'm gonna scroll through my plan and identify what other necessities need funding before that next paycheck. Like, I'm definitely gonna need some gas for the car, some groceries. And you know what? Groceries, kind of the same deal as the mortgage. I'm gonna wanna go ahead and click ahead into February, fund that first week of groceries for the month, just because that paycheck doesn't get here till the 5th. And I'm gonna wanna eat, so. I also know that we're taking our son on a little outing with some cousins next week, so I'm gonna go ahead and fully fund our fun and outings category and drop a little money in our eating out category too, just so we don't have to hold back on having a total blast with family that day. And then I'm just gonna drop some little monies here and there wherever I feel like we might need it before the next paycheck. Looks like I have a little less than $900 left to assign. I should probably drop about $200 toward childcare. We don't really need anything for the dog right now. And I have 2 subscriptions due in the next couple weeks that I'm gonna go ahead and fund right now just to be prepared. Now we have officially covered our bums. We can be assured that every expense we know of that must be paid in the next couple weeks is fully prepared for, no questions asked, and that feels pretty darn good. And that is a wrap on question number 1. So naturally, we're gonna move on to question number 2. What larger or less frequent spending do I need to prepare for? This is where I set aside a little money each month for those bigger or far off expenses. This is what creates that feeling of stability for our family. This helps us reduce a ton of stress and uncertainty that sometimes we don't even realize we have. Because think about it. Scenario A. I set aside $200 each month for car insurance. I receive my $1,200 every 6 months bill and I pay it. Nice. Versus scenario B, I forget I even have car insurance. I get a $1,200 bill in my inbox one day. I cry. Personally, I'm all in on scenario A. So I'm gonna scroll through my plan and drop money in any of the categories I want to be prepared for whenever those expenses do arise. Now, sometimes those are little categories like my makeup category. While I don't buy makeup very often, every like 3 to 6 months, it always seems like without fail, 6 different items all run out and need replacing at the same time. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we like to call a pretty penny. Pun intended. Dropping a little money in here each month means I can replace those 6 used up products all at once without feeling weird or guilty about it or like I'm just dropping a bunch of money. I planned for it. There are tons of opportunities for me to be prepared for future expenses when it comes to the pup. Holiday categories are another great example of creating stability. Rather than feeling like I'm hemorrhaging money at Christmas or after everyone's birthdays, I just drop a little into each holiday category every month. And I mean like a little. Some of these I drop like $3 in. I love this too because I see the perfect gift for my son in September and I can just buy it because the money is already there and I know it was set aside exactly for this. Now, I ran out of money. Except actually, I didn't. I still have a savings account that I haven't added yet. What? Hannah, savings account? You're just gonna spend your savings dollars all willy-nilly? No, friend. I'm gonna make a plan for my savings dollars. Because look at this. What does this tell me? What is this for? When can I spend it? Am I supposed to not spend it? Because money is meant to be spent, whether tomorrow or in 20 years. Regardless of when it's spent, I don't know about you, I still want a plan for my savings dollars. I want to know what they can actually do for me. Giving my savings dollars jobs as well simply adds to the level of stability I feel, and I like that stability. It feels real good. So I'm gonna divvy these dollars out. I'm giving my car repairs category a little boost from my savings dollars. Let's say give it 1,000. In fact, I'm gonna give a lot of these categories a hearty boost because I wanna make sure I'm feeling at least a little bit ready if a home emergency were to strike tomorrow. And guess what? With each paycheck, I'm still gonna drop a little bit into each of these categories every month. But that initial starting boost, I feel good about that. And with a little over $2,000 left, we move on to question number 3, aka my favorite of the 5 questions. What can I set aside for next month's spending? The next month. We're already a little familiar with the next month, but think about it. What feels better than 1 funded mortgage payment? 2 funded mortgage payments, Through this question, I've just become so much more resilient with my money over time. It's like I've carved out this built-in breathing room for my family, and the peace of mind that it brings, it's just next level. So let's hop into the next month. Look at me, I already was proactive by funding next month's mortgage payment and a little groceries now before the next paycheck comes. Good work, Hannah. But what would make me feel really good is to get all my important bills covered for next month. For real, how much better would you sleep tonight knowing that you could pay all of next month's utility bills today? Now, funding all my bills for next month still leaves me with around $1,500, so I'm gonna go ahead and also fund next month's gas category, all my groceries, and our childcare category. All pretty important and all big hitters. Up next is sparkly question number 4. What goals, large or small, do I want to prioritize? This is the question where I get to carve out room to dream, imagine, and create with my money. This is where we get to become a little more us. The bills are covered, I'm planning for those far off and often forgotten expenses, the future is getting funded, so any money left over can safely and happily go toward basically whatever the heck I want it to. I like to think of it as asking the question, how do I want my money to help me become more of me? Okay, here's a new dream for me. I used to be the plant girl. Plants everywhere. Always cutting and propagating and repotting, and then a tiny cutie little baby comes into our home and blows all that to smithereens. It doesn't mean I love plants any less, it just means that I haven't had the time or the mental space to maintain them. Like literally. Where did it all go? But someone else had this same problem and started a company that ships out fully grown plants in self-watering pots you just water once a month. And I think I could handle that. And I want that plant beauty back in my home. I miss that part of myself. So this is where I create an easy plant category and start working toward cultivating this long lost joy in my life again. Might not be important to you, but it actually would mean a lot to me. One day, it could be taking our house full of kids on their first Disney trip, or buying my mom the e-bike she's been talking about for forever, or saving up to invest in my friend's business that I really believe in, or who knows, maybe my own business that I really believe in. And I feel like that's just the beauty of this 4th question, and really all of these questions. Only you are gonna have the answers you're gonna have. How can your money help you become more you? And now we find ourselves pulling into the station of our 5th and final question. What changes do I need to make, if any? Change is the fulcrum on which YNAB hinges its everything. Life changes, people change, hopes change, circumstances change. So the plan should be able to change too. And here at YNAB, we fully endorse changing the plan without the guilt, stress, or second guessing. After I've divvied out all these dollars, I get to look back and say, do I like this? Or are there some dollars I could shift around here or there? I'll tell you one thing I noticed a while back. I never funded our fun money categories for this month, and let me tell you, that is a must in this house. So you know what? I put $2,000 in home emergencies. As of right now, the house is functioning well with no concern, so I'm gonna move a little bit of this money to our fun money categories for the last couple weeks of the month. And remember, if this change matters to you, it's okay, no guilt. Don't panic, it's fine. Or say life hits kind of hard all of a sudden, there's no reason I can't move some of the money I assigned out to the future month and just kind of move it back into the current month to do whatever I need it to do for me right now. Just follow your gut, your heart, your circumstances, you'll be fine. And remember, changing the plan for new or clearer circumstances is good, not a failure. We welcome change, we don't avoid it, okay? This is how life works. We're gonna adapt. This is how we thrive, people. And that is how I'd walk through YNAB's 5 questions when setting up YNAB for the first time. If you'd like to follow along as I walk through the 5 questions with a well-established spending plan and a crispy new paycheck, make sure to tune into the next video where I do just that. I really hope you found this walkthrough helpful in learning how you can apply YNAB's 5 questions to your dollars. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I will catch you in the next one. I keep going until every dollar has a job to do. And I keep burping until the line is over. I keep going until every job has a dollar to... Hold on. Darn, I was gonna use a bucket. This is recording, right? Okay, good. That wouldn't be tragic. I've looked at the light and now I can see. Oh, seriously, don't look into your lights in the middle of filming. What? I feel like a soccer mom today. It's the shoes. They're a soccer mom shoes. Except now I have a big old stain on them. Natural delivery. I'm so excited. And I just can't hide it. Okay, Demi Lovato can't rock. Clear jets, crazy kid. That was so cheesy. And I kinda liked it.